Have you ever looked back at your life and thought, where did all the time go? It feels like just yesterday, you had all the time in the world, all the chances to do the things you wanted, all the opportunities to say the things you meant to say. But life moves fast. One moment, you're making plans for the future, and the next, you're wondering where the years went. And the worst feeling of all? Regret. Regret for the words left unsaid. Regret for the chances never taken. Regret for the time wasted on things that never really mattered. Because the truth is, we waste so much time in life. Time spent worrying about what people think. Time spent holding grudges that only weighed us down. Time spent waiting for the right moment, only to realize the right moment never comes unless you make it happen. We tell ourselves someday, but how many somedays have already passed? We put off dreams, push aside happiness, and convince ourselves we have more time. But the hardest lesson in life is this: time doesn't wait for anyone. One day you wake up and realize it's not that you ran out of time, it's that you never truly used it. But here's the thing: it's not too late. You still have time to live the way you always wanted to. You still have time to stop living for others and start living for yourself. You still have time to rewrite the story of your life on your terms. So today, let's talk about how to stop wasting time, let go of regret, and live with intention. Because no matter what stage of life you're in, the best time to start truly living is right now. And I'll teach you how if you stick around. Let's be honest. How much time have you wasted in life on things that, in the grand scheme of things, never really mattered? How many nights have you spent lying awake, replaying old conversations in your head, worrying about what you should have said? How many hours have you lost stressing over other people's opinions? People who probably don't even think about you as much as you think about them. And how many years have you held on to past mistakes, punishing yourself for things you can't change? The truth is, we waste so much time on things that bring nothing but stress, guilt, and regret. Think about it. How much time have you spent arguing with people who never listen, trying to please people who never appreciated you, holding on to anger toward people who moved on without a second thought? And for what? Did it make you happier? Did it add more meaning to your life? Or did it just steal time that you can never get back? Because here's the truth. Most of the things we stress about aren't worth it. That argument from 5 years ago doesn't matter anymore. That time someone embarrassed you, they've probably forgotten. That thing you were too scared to try, the time passed anyway. So why do we keep letting the past steal from the present? And let's not even talk about the time we waste on negativity. How much energy have you spent complaining instead of changing something? How many moments have you missed scrolling through your phone, lost in other people's lives while yours passes you by? How many chances have you ignored because you were too afraid of failing? At the end of the day, there's one harsh truth. Time doesn't care how you spend it. It just keeps moving. And the biggest regret most people have in life is realizing they spent too much time on things that never really mattered. So stop giving your energy to things that don't serve you. Let go of old grudges. They're only hurting you, not them. Stop worrying about people who don't worry about you. Live for yourself. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Because the only moment that matters is the one you have right now. And the best thing you can do, use it wisely. Regret is heavy. It weighs on your mind. It lingers in your heart. It creeps into your thoughts at night. And for many people, it's one of the hardest things to let go of. Maybe you regret not chasing a dream when you were younger. Maybe you regret staying in a job, a situation, or a relationship for too long. Maybe you regret not telling someone how much they meant to you before it was too late. Or maybe you regret the exact opposite. Something you did say, something you did do, and you wish you could take it back. But here's what you need to ask yourself. What is regret doing for you? Is it helping you move forward? Is it changing the past? Or is it just stealing your peace in the present? Because that's exactly what regret does. It keeps you stuck in a moment that no longer exists. It makes you replay memories over and over, wishing you could change them, when in reality you can't. And here's the hardest truth about regret. It doesn't fix anything. Wishing you had done something differently doesn't undo it. Hating yourself for past mistakes doesn't erase them. Carrying guilt for decades doesn't make anything better. It only takes more from you, more time, more joy, more life. And let's be honest, how many years have you already lost to regret? How many times have you sat there thinking, if only I had done things differently? How much longer are you going to let the past rob you of your future? Because here's the truth. The past is done. You can't go back. You can't rewrite what's already been written. But you can choose what you do right now. You can choose to make better choices today. You can choose to take that trip, start that hobby, have that conversation before it's too late. Because the only way to make peace with your past is to stop letting it control your future. So if you've been holding on to regret, let it go. If you've been carrying guilt, put it down. Because every single day you spend stuck in regret is another day you're not fully living, and you don't have forever to keep waiting. So instead of focusing on what you can't change, ask yourself, what can I do with the time I have left? Because that's the only thing that truly matters. How many times in your life have you wanted to do something new, but fear stopped you? How many moments have you hesitated, stood on the edge of something exciting, different, maybe even life-changing, but backed away because of what ifs? Maybe it was fear of failing. Maybe it was fear of what people would think. Maybe it was just fear of stepping outside your comfort zone. Because let's be honest, comfort feels safe. But let me ask you this. When you look back, do you regret the chances you took or the ones you never had the courage to take? Because here's the truth. Fear is temporary, but regret, that can last forever. How many times have you said, I wish I had started sooner? I wonder what would have happened if I had just tried. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have been so scared. Fear is a liar. It tells you that you can't, that you'll fail, that you're too old, too late, or not good enough. And because of that fear, you convince yourself that staying where you are, staying safe, is the right choice. But the reality, most of the things we're afraid of never actually happen. We spend years fearing the worst case scenario, when in reality, the worst thing that happens is usually we try, we learn, and we move forward. So if you've been holding back, why? If you've been dreaming of doing something new, why haven't you started? What's the worst that could really happen? If you start that hobby and aren't great at it, so what? You're enjoying yourself. If you take that trip alone, so what? You'll come back with stories and confidence. If you speak your mind and someone doesn't like it, so what? At least you were honest. Because here's what's really at stake. The life you could have had if you weren't afraid. And ask yourself this, what would you do if you weren't scared? Would you finally write that book? Would you pick up the phone and call that person you miss? Would you book the trip you've been talking about for years? Would you finally start living for yourself instead of for other people's opinions? Fear has stolen enough from you. Don't let it take one more day. If there's something you've always wanted to do it now. If there's someone you've been wanting to call, forgive, or reconnect with, do it now. Because the biggest risks in life aren't the ones we take. They're the ones we never give ourselves a chance to try. And here's one last thing. Taking risks isn't about being reckless. It's about not letting fear make your decisions for you. So the next time you feel that fear creeping in, remind yourself, you only get one life, and you don't want to waste it playing it safe. Think about this for a moment. How many hours, how many years have you spent on people who didn't deserve your time? How much energy have you poured into relationships that only drained you? How many times have you put effort into someone who wouldn't have done the same for you? It's a tough question, but it's an important one because time is limited. And when it comes to relationships, not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. So here's something to ask yourself. Who are the people who truly matter to you? Not the ones who are there when it's convenient. Not the ones who only call when they need something. Not the ones who take, but never give back. But the ones who show up. The ones who would drop everything if you needed them. The ones who have been there for you. Not just in the good times, but in the hard times. Because let's be honest, it's easy for people to be around when everything is going well, but who's still there when life gets tough? Who's checking on you when you're struggling? Who remembers your birthday without being reminded? Who asks how you're doing and actually listens? Because those are the people who deserve your time, and it's time to start prioritizing them. Stop wasting time on one-sided relationships. Think about how much time you've spent chasing people who made you feel unimportant. Friends who disappeared the moment life got busy. Family members who only reached out when they needed something. People who made you feel like you had to prove your worth instead of simply appreciating you for who you are. And here's the thing. It's okay to let go of people who no longer serve a purpose in your life. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you hold a grudge. It just means you're finally putting your energy where it belongs. Because life is too short to keep investing in people who wouldn't do the same for you. Make time for the people who matter. On the flip side, how often do we take the good people in our lives for granted? The ones who have always been there, but we assume they always will be? The friend who always calls first? The sibling who checks in on you? The person who quietly supports you, even when you don't ask them to? When was the last time you reached out to them first? Because here's the truth. No one is here forever. And the worst regret in life? Realizing you didn't appreciate someone until they were gone. So make time for them now. Call them. Visit them. Tell them how much they mean to you. Not next week. Not next year. Now, because one day you'll wish you had one more conversation, one more laugh, one more moment. And when that time comes, you don't want to be left wishing you had done more. Your time is valuable. Give it wisely. So moving forward, here's the challenge. Stop chasing people who don't make an effort. Stop prioritizing relationships that drain you. Start focusing on the ones who truly love, respect, and value you. Because those are the relationships that will bring you joy. Those are the ones that will fill your life with meaning. And those are the ones that, when you look back, you'll be grateful you invested in. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many people you have in your life. It's about who truly matters. And those are the people worth everything. When was the last time you did something just because it made you happy? Not because you had to, not because someone expected you to, but just because it made you feel alive? Because here's the truth. As we get older, we start saying no too much. No to new experiences. No to making time for ourselves. No to the things that bring us joy. And before we know it, life starts to feel small, routine, predictable. And then one day, you wake up and realize you've spent years saying no. No to last-minute road trips because it felt like too much effort. No to trying something new because you were worried you wouldn't be good at it. No to invitations, experiences, or changes that could have brought joy, adventure, or something unexpected. And what did you get in return? A comfortable but maybe a little too quiet life. One that's predictable but maybe missing something. Because here's the thing. We stop saying yes because we think it's too late. Too late to travel. Too late to learn something new. Too late to make a change. But the truth is, the only thing that makes it too late is not starting at all. So ask yourself, when was the last time you said yes? Say yes to fun again. When did life stop feeling fun? When did we start thinking that fun was only for young people? That trying new things, laughing until your stomach hurts, staying up late, dancing, exploring, that all of it was off limits because of age? Because the truth is, you're never too old to have fun. You're never too old to try something new. You're never too old to feel excitement again. So start saying yes to the little things that make life enjoyable. Yes to trying a new restaurant instead of always going to the same place. Yes to taking a weekend trip, just because. Yes to finally learning how to paint, play an instrument, or cook that dish you've always wanted to master. Because life isn't just about existing, it's about experiencing. And fun keeps you young. Say yes to change. One of the hardest things in life is accepting change. We get comfortable, we settle into routines, and sometimes even when things aren't making us happy, We stay the same because change feels scary. But what if, instead of fearing change, you started saying yes to it? Yes to moving to a new place if you're unhappy where you are. Yes to letting go of things that no longer serve you, whether that's a job, a friendship, or a routine that's keeping you stuck. Yes to trying a new way of living, because why not? Change isn't something to be afraid of. It's something to embrace, because every new experience is a chance to grow, and life is too short to stay stuck in the same place just because it feels familiar. Say yes to yourself. And most importantly, start saying yes to you. Yes to what you want. Yes to putting yourself first for once. Yes to not feeling guilty for choosing your own happiness. For years, maybe even decades, you've put other people first. Your kids, your spouse, your job, your responsibilities. But what about you? You deserve to wake up in the morning and feel excited about your life. You deserve to make yourself a priority. And if saying yes to life means saying no to things that drain you, then that's okay too. Because this next chapter, it's about you, what you want, what makes you happy, what makes you feel alive again. So moving forward, ask yourself this. If you weren't afraid, if you weren't worried about what others thought, what would you say yes to? Because life is still happening. It's not over, and every day is another chance to say yes. So let's take a step back and ask yourself, are you truly living, or are you just going through the motions? Because here's the truth that no one wants to admit. One day, time will run out. That's not meant to scare you. It's just reality. And when that day comes, the things you stressed over, the fears that held you back, the regrets you carried, none of it will matter. No one gets to relive the past. No one gets a second chance to go back and say, I wish I had done more. But you know what? Right now in this moment, you do have a choice. You still have time to wake up and start living differently. You still have time to say yes to life. You still have time to let go of regrets and stop wasting time on things that don't matter. But only if you choose to. Because here's the hard truth. No one is coming to save you from an unfulfilled life. No one is going to knock on your door and say, it's time to start living the life you always wanted. That decision, it's yours. It's always been yours. So don't wait. Don't put it off. Don't tell yourself you'll do it next year or when the timing is right. Because waiting, that's how people wake up one day full of regret, realizing they never truly lived at all. So instead of asking yourself, what if? Start asking, why not? Why not take that trip? Why not try something new? Why not stop worrying about what other people think and just be happy? Because when you look back on your life, make sure it's a life you're proud of. A life where you loved fully, laughed loudly, and lived fearlessly. A life where you took chances, made mistakes, and kept going anyway. A life where you said yes more than you said no. Because at the end of the day, the biggest failure isn't falling down. It's never having taken the leap at all. So go, say yes, live boldly, because time is still on your side, but only if you use it. What's one thing you want to say yes to before it's too late? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If this video inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's never too late to start living.